how are they still saying Jayson Tatum's not a superstar?
We're at the quarter mark of the NBA season, the biggest story in the NBA, and I don't think it's close.
At the young age of 23 years old, this guy comes off a finals run that is just one of the best historically, and people are still now saying that he's not a superstar. And later in this video, you just won't believe who they even put ahead of Jayson Tatum.
Tatum's at 31 a game, 8 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 48% shooting. I think at worst he's third in MVP right now.
And they're saying this during a season where Tatum is putting up great numbers and is arguably MVP right now. Like, he's the best player in the best team.
I think that Luka is a leading candidate for league MVP honors. I will officially on national television throw Jayson Tatum into that conversation for the Boston Celtics.
Vince, what player has stood out to you the most just out the gate here for the Celtics?
It's Jayson Tatum. I picked Jayson Tatum to be the MVP, and he's doing that. He's stepping up to the plate and showing the league and the world why he should be just that.
He's even on Kendrick Perkins, albeit ridiculous, top 5 list for MVP. And even Stephen A knows what's up. Jayson Tatum, for sure, is a superstar.
Jayson Tatum is a superstar in this league, and he plays like one. Night in, night out basis. You got to contend with that, brother. I'd put him right there.
But media analysts, for some reason, they just don't want to give it to him. They don't want to crown him as a superstar yet. And in this video, we're going to go through all the mental gymnastics these people go through to say this.
Are you a superstar right now?
What is a superstar?
Oh, yeah, a couple months ago, this part of the podcast went viral.
I feel like I'm the poster child of, like, is he a superstar yet?
Yeah, you are.
For one.
I feel like it's like you and Luka.
And I think most people, they only saw the Kyrie Dame part of this discussion. But if you guys see the whole part, I mean, it gets even more ridiculous than it already is.
How would you define what a superstar is?
I think that there aren't that many superstars.
How many are there?
I'm kind of in that. I would say 6.
What?
Superstars. I think there's a lot of stars.
If you believe there's only 6 superstars in the NBA right now, come on, man. Are you serious?
Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm almost afraid to ask you, like, is this person a superstar? Like, I want to ask you, like, because you said there's only 6.
I, in my head, think it's 6. But, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. You can ask
Is
me.
Kyrie Irving a superstar?
Yes.
How are there 6 superstars and somehow Kyrie ends up there? What?
But then, is Damian Lillard a superstar?
I think that Damian has all of the superstar qualities, but it's hard to put him in this moment because of he just like needs a little more. But
Needs a little more.
I mean, he's got to win. He's got to get there.
The criteria is, you'll see later in this video, the criteria for a superstar, they keep changing, they keep moving the goalpost for some reason. And if you like what you see here, please consider subscribing. It will help me a ton for me to make these great videos. Now, as of late, Jayson Tatum has made some strides from his poor performances in the finals.
If you don't know, you should ask somebody. This brother is special, and he is putting on a show and trying to make amends for his struggling performance in the NBA Finals.
He finishes this play. He goes up through the contact. Very strong finish every year. He gets stronger and stronger.
A big point of emphasis for Tatum was to improve his finishing at the rim, because against the Warriors, we all seen it, he had a poor touch when it came to him, finishing at the rim.
So if you notice, as Jayson Tatum has gotten stronger, you see him finishing at the hoop, you see him hanging on the rim in the half court, because he now can, look at this, he can now play through contact. That's an improvement in his game.
In transition, watch how bodies just fly off him. He holds his line, people foul him, it doesn't matter.
And I know some people may say, there's no way that's true. Jayson Tatum finishing, he's just gonna choke again. Listen to what Ramona says here, okay?
When they studied tape of him in the finals, this is what hurt him. He just didn't finish at the rim as well as he could. Now, just prepare yourself for this. Jayson Tatum is finishing at the rim better than Giannis this year. 76% in the restricted area. Wow. Giannis is 74%.
That's big.
That's third in the league. 2 players ahead of him, Nick Claxton, Anthony Davis, 2 centers. Wow.
And obviously, Jayson Tatum being the best player on the best team cannot go understated, okay? He is their engine at this point, man. Just looking at how he plays, how he gets his guys involved.
They're number 1 in offensive efficiency by a mile. The gap between them and number 2 is the same as the gap between number 2 and number 13. That's how dominant they've been.
From the field. You know, you talked about them not doubling down. Luka?
Oh, Tatum with a beautiful move.
But recently, you had the NBA Today playing a game and just failing at it.
As Perk has said before, if your 73-year-old grandma doesn't know a player's name, then that player is not a true superstar.
Let me just say this before we continue, okay? If you're going to quote Kendrick Perkins, you're already in the bin, as the British say, okay? This is crazy.
So, I'm going to give each of you a player in one of the matchups tonight, and you're going to tell me if they're a star or a superstar, starting with Jayson Tatum and you, Chanae.
You are what you say you are. Unfortunately,
A superstar, like, does that mean he's a superstar? Yes. That's what it means, right?
in this case, I think he's knocking on the door. He's knocking on the door. Tatum has been phenomenal. The Celtics, a large reason why they've been, having a great start to the season is because of him. But I think he's almost there. You have to own your team, and then you also have to own the NBA.
At 24 years old, this guy already been through 3 conference finals appearances, made it to the finals. I mean, KD made it to the finals at 23 in 2012 and was called a superstar.
And he's like, I bet you next year I'm gonna say he's a superstar.
I agree. And being the best player on the Celtics is like being the quarterback on the Cowboys.
SMH, Richard, come on, man. He's a systems player. Oh, the team is just so good around him that it's bound for him to win. Like, this is ridiculous. To dismiss his achievements, his accolades, simply because you don't want to crown him a superstar. This is ridiculous. It's honestly like, Jayson Tatum, what did he do to you? I mean, this guy is already dominating the league. Right now, he's at MVP level, and you're still not crowning him a superstar. And at this point, you probably know that this is going to get worse.
What about Ja Morant, the Spurs, and the Grizz face off tonight, Rich?
Me? I think Ja's a superstar. I know this is tough. He's that, like, if there's 6 superstars, he's the 6th, mainly because he's been getting better every year. And I also look at the way the kids are. The kids love some Ja.
I thought it was the grandmother that you were looking at. If she knows your name, now it's the kids? Now everybody has to know your name, huh? Oh, this is ridiculous. The goalpost keeps moving.
Yeah,
the kids love some.
Let me tell you why. 29, 7, and 6, 46% for 3. He's a superstar.
This is why I will say that Ja Morant is one of the most overrated players in this league because of how the media covers him. It's insane. Jayson Tatum has better counting stats than him, and there's no way this can get worse, right?
What about the 2-time back-to-back MVP, Nikola Jokic?
He is an MVP, or he's a superstar on the court. He's not a superstar off the court.
Wait, that doesn't answer the question.
It is. He is a superstar on the court because he's done things that only superstars. Off the court, he is not a superstar.
I feel
off the court, he's not a superstar.
I feel like off the court is one of the statistics that goes to superstars.
Richard,
so you're saying
I said off the court,
yes
he's not.
Or no?
We're comparing a 2-time MVP.
Wow.
I'm not surprised. The same guy they laughed off when he was on a horse. Yeah, they're not gonna give him his flowers. He's very popular where he's from. No, that doesn't matter because it's not in the U.S. Like, this is the problem with, these stupid influencer metrics that they give for these superstar credentials. Like, it's ridiculous. This is why this sort of stuff should be evaluated strictly on the court now.
Devin Booker and the Suns taking on the Wolves. Is Book a superstar, Chanae?
Just the way I talked about Tatum, I think he's knocking on the door. I think especially after, they had that nice little run, but it just seems like he's so talented. He could be in the MVP conversation and maybe finishing top 3.
Same guy that made a hate video on Devin Booker is going to have to defend him. This is insane, bro. He was an all-NBA first-team player last year. He was top 5 in MVP voting last year. What has Ja Morant done, with all due respect?
That'll put him there, but right now, he's a star. He is a star.
Look.
Do you agree, Richard?
I think he's a star. He's a star.
Leading his team to a 64-win season last season. The fact that we're even arguing this is ridiculous. Okay, Jayson Tatum is better than both of them, and somehow Ja Morant is better. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is insane to me, and you know what? It actually gets worse.
Richard, what about Zion Williamson? The Pels take on the Bulls. Is he a superstar or a star?
He's a star. He's a star. Look, I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad he's putting up historic numbers. But do you want to know the difference? NBA, Dr. J, Magic, Burt. I know Zion, people know their name, but if you're a 73-year-old grandmother, if you cannot host SNL, SNL is a pop culture thing.
In the 1990s, sure, but do people even care anymore? Like, am I bugging? Like, SNL has never been funny. Like, what are we doing?
But what about this? I think we can all agree.
You're saying
Luka Doncic and the Mavs, they take on Orlando. Yeah, Luka is a superstar.
I can see
not
Luka
up for
host.
debate.
Luka could host.
How do I know this? Wait.
That's a lie. He probably would have to do 10 times more than an American player to even get the chance, okay? Now, we got to tackle this whole there's 6 superstars in the league at all times stuff. Maybe 10 years ago there were 6 superstars in the league. Now, there's way more than 6. Just think about it. The league is in a much better place, talent-wise, and the superstars that were there 10 years ago, most of them are still around playing at an all-time level, and you got even more superstars coming in.
What does being a superstar mean if there's 20 of them?
There's more than 6.
But how many would you say there are?
12, 14. Damian Lillard is a superstar.
I think I may have figured it out, right? When people talk about superstars, they're not talking about superstars. They're talking about guys that you could arguably put in the top 20 all time. I think a lot of people are making the mistake of not distinguishing from the superstars and the all-time greats.
At what point are you almost like changing the meaning of so many people can be one? And maybe there are 15, 14. I just think it's a difference in opinion.
There can be superstars, and then there are a few guys in the league right now that are like all-time greats. So yes, like there is a difference between KD, Bron, and Dame.